you want to set up a basic employee handbook, and you want to track the time, you want to track the vacation and evaluations in one place. The evaluations, you want to make sure you do a performance evaluation, because what if they're not doing the job like they're supposed to? You want to let them know that they're doing good or they're not doing so good. Okay? So you want to keep that there. And then you have the regular check-ins to keep morale up, right? And the roles clear. Okay. You're the administrator. Your job is to do this, that, and that. Well, why haven't you done it? Well, Sally's doing it, but that's not her job. That's your job. Can you do your job? Because Sally has a whole bunch of other things to do. And Sally's quiet. So Sally's not going to complain. So you're going to be like, no. That's why you got to be on top of things. All right. So this is the 8-step process for an effective back office. It sounds like a lot, right? Because you're like, wait a minute, I'm in the field. Somebody's going to do it if you're not there, right? Any questions about this part?
Well, some of us do that and still have to be out in the field.
Right, but it's still hard.
It's very hard.
It's still hard. Sure.
I heard all these keep things private. What are the private items that we see that?
Well, the private items would be financials. All right, your taxes, you want to keep private. Only the accountant should be looking at that. Shouldn't have everybody looking at that. You want to have your certifications, the application, your personal net worth. All those things shouldn't be out for everybody. The only thing that should be there is your certificate for your employees to send to people. But if you're actually doing the application, that should be private because it has your social security number. It has all of your personal network information. HR should only be the HR manager because you have all of the social security for your employees, and those things need to be private. So that's why we're talking about projects, office, finance, and owner. Owner should have their own private file or their own stuff, right? So you can't, and this is how you're going to set up these shared files in your server, which is your NAS device. So we're going to talk about that. Okay. So, question?
Do you have a software for the onboarding of the sensitive information on employees?
So I don't have a system that like a SaaS application. I have my own server, and I put that in my own server, and I put permissions as to who can access it. So finance, my accountant has access to that, and my bookkeeper. My project managers, they have access to my projects because they need to see the drawings. They need to see my office manager. She needs to look at the insurance. She needs to look at the HR stuff. These are the private things that you want to keep under there, right? Software licenses. These are private because you don't want them to take that license and put it onto their computers at home. So these are the type of things. Logins, right? We're going to talk about logins too. Like you don't want to give someone a password for something and then forget you gave it to them and now they know all your stuff. There is a software that you can use for that as well. And I'll go over it. But these are the private things you want to keep private because it's your asset and your asset is your business. So your business relies on that assets. And if somebody just decides to go in and delete, you're going to be like, I had one office manager one time that got back that I didn't give her a raise. And she deleted them team files.
Ooh. Ouch.
And we were like, oh, good thing I'm a programmer. I had a backup, brought it back, and it's like, goodbye. So just say, you have to have a backup. Do you have a backup? Anybody, tell me. You do? What's your backup? What's your backup?
No, I got it. External birth.
Oh, is it?
External breath.
External birth.
How many drives does it have? 2. Good. If you have an external drive, should be 2 or more. Not a USB, because in college, I put it in, and when I needed that the most, it broke. And I was like, oh, the teacher, professor, I did do the essay. They're like, yeah, I don't want to hear it. All right. So here's the thing. If you're saving stuff on your computer, it's a dangerous practice. If you're saving stuff on your laptop, it's even more of a danger. I knew someone who came to me and said, Jackie, I had all my stuff on my laptop and I dropped it and I can't open it. I'm like, nothing I could do. Why?
How does it unbound though? Does any?
Yes, we're going to talk about cloud. It does help.
Okay.
Okay. So the problem is if you have only one hard drive, if the hard drive goes bad, it's done. It's corrupt. It's done. You can't do anything. You have to send it somewhere. Maybe they'll get it done for you. It could be very expensive. It could take days to do. But if you have two hard drive that's replicating each other, then at least you can replace the one hard drive that messed up and you save because you have the second. Now, if you have your NAS device in your property,
Say it again if you have a what?
NAS device is it's a NAS device. It's like a server. It's a network access storage system. It acts like a server. So you can, access it from your computer and all of your employees can as well. It's like networking. So your computer, your office manager's computer, based on the provisions that you set, can all work together in unison. And it's very inexpensive.
So who backs that up? You said there should be two. That's
You
one.
purchase it. It has up to 4 in it.
Redundancy.
It has a
What I'm trying to get at those.
So yes, it has redundancy, redundancy. Yes.
So Dropbox, Google Drive, and Uber.
You're counting on someone else to store your stuff.
Again?
You're counting on a third party to store your stuff. What happens if it goes down? You have backup?
What happens if you lose internet and you can't access?
Well, that's anywhere. Then everybody is messed up. But the whole thing is you want to be able to have a backup. So now you have 2 hard drives. What if it's in your property and a fire happens or a flood happens? Guess where you saved it also? In your backup in the car. So you're covered.
NASS.
NAS. I'm gonna tell you now. Don't you worry me. I got you guys covered. But we're having a conversation and we're talking about what happens. This is like common in construction and in regular businesses. It's common. You have to save your stuff because there's so much documentation that you have. You cannot afford to lose it. All right. So let's go to the next.
I have some questions right now. So with the redundancy, this is a recommended way of backup as well as also, because I know somebody was telling me that
Yes, a lot of
should be trying to get that, and have that system become more secured with that as opposed to the iCloud or anything else.
Right. So the redundancy means that everything you put on one hard drive, it gets automatically saved onto another hard drive. So just in case one hard drive fails, it has your stuff on the second hard drive.
So
It's like a backup.
What you had them on your hard drive or in your NAS, then you back it up to a cloud. Redundancy, this means that it's in another place.
It's another copy.
Okay. Like, don't worry, we got me. How are you guys doing so far? How are you doing so far?
I'm good. Everybody okay?
Everybody's okay? Do you want
Everybody ready?
to take a 5-minute break or you want to keep going?
we're good.
We're good? All right, just.
So I go quick. Let's go to the next slide. All right. Here are the common back office challenges. Too many manual tasks. You're buried in paperwork. Repeating the same steps over and over again. Entering info into multiple systems. Chasing down forms or sending the same email 10 times. Here's a solution. Automated invoice reminders. You can set up your invoices. Say, okay, I'm not going to be in the office on the 1st, but I want to make sure that invoice goes out. Set it up. In Outlook, you can even set it up and say, okay, schedule this email to go out on the 1st. And then you have all 10 of them go out. You don't have to do anything. It will automatically go out. Send it because you don't want to forget. You want to use software integrations. Abner mentioned the software integration for QuickBooks, which is the certified payroll, right? You can use that with QuickBooks as Gusto. You want to create or get in templates. Lack of training for staff. So you got an intern. You got an intern and the intern's like, what do I do, boss? I'm ready to go. And you're like, think of something. I'll be back. And you don't have anything for them to do. How are they going to lead your company when you can't lead your own company? Right? Do the training for the staff. Use, you don't want them to figure it out as they go, which leads to mistakes, frustration, and burnout. Use a cloud system. You could use the Google Drive if you already have it to store the videos that you're going to make. Do that. Or you can create a standard folder structure, right? And then you can name it, different, for example, onboarding video, how to use the NAS system, where to file the documents. This is where you file. Like, you're letting them know what they need to do. And if they forget, they go back to the video, because they're not going to bother you 100 times a day for the same questions, because you're busy. You're busy working. So you can't just go to the video. And then you'll be able to take care of it. And then if you have more questions, then I'll answer those questions. But you give them that onboarding at first, answer their questions. And then after that, if they need to go back, let's say they're doing QuickBooks. You don't want them to mess up on QuickBooks. So you have a video of it and say, this is how you do job costing. This is how you enter a customer. This is how you enter a job. This is how you create an invoice. This is how you create an estimate. This is how you apply the payment. This is how you send out payments. You know, all of those processes, you document it in a video using Snagit and save it, and boom. Now you don't have that issue of training because you already have it trained. All right. So you want to do that. Waiting until the end of the job or service to get paid. Well, why do that? That's inconsistent cash flow. As soon as the job is over, send the bill. Send it. Why wait till the first? Send it right away. Right? Because if they say, oh, you know, I get paid. Oh, this was AECOM the other day said this. Someone had submitted a question to AECOM and said, hey, how do we get paid with this new opportunity you're talking about? And they said, you're going to get paid when we get paid. And we were like, what? Oh, hell no. That right there tells you, can you afford to wait 90 days?
No.
Exactly. We're small businesses. We cannot wait to 90 days. So when you get paid, I get paid. Right there, that's not an opportunity. Sure, it might be a $1 billion company, but that is not the opportunity because I cannot afford to wait 90 days. I'll go after a smaller job that I know that I'm going to be paid in 30 days rather than a big conglomerate that's going to say, when I get paid, you get paid. And it's like 90 days, 120 days. Just for what? So I can say that I worked for them? Yeah. That's dumb. I'm not going to do it. I've already done it. And I'm not going to do it again. I don't want inconsistent cash flow. Also, find a way of getting reoccurring money. We're in construction. How did the job's over and we don't have no more money? And like, oh shit, now we gotta go look for another job and, then we get desperate. Create reoccurring cash to come in. Do maintenance plans. Be creative, okay? And say, okay, this is what we could do. You put your minds together and get recurring income. That'll keep you afloat. Okay, that'll keep you afloat. Don't just go from one job to the next job, to the next job, to the next job, running. No, you gotta think about what can I do? What can my company do that can actually get reoccurring money every month, like the rent? Gotta get it. That's another idea for inconsistent cash flow. You want to make sure that happens, because if they don't get their money and you don't get your money, then you're stuck, and then you're going to be screaming and calling people saying, oh, this is not right. Okay. So you want to break up your invoices into milestones. You get your deposit. Now, if it's a private job, get your deposit. Okay. 30, 40, 30, however, 50, however you want to do it. But never start a job without money. Now, for public work is totally different. They got control of it. They have control. But here's what you need to know about a public job. Make sure you learn schedule of values. SOV. Does anybody know what that is?
Yeah.
Tell me what's an SOV.
It's the distribution of your, work based on your items, when you want to get paid, stuff like that.
Exactly, your coefficient of work. So schedule of values is like your invoice for the public. And you gotta write down every task that you do. Okay? If you don't, they'll tell you, oh, don't worry, I'll do it for you. And they'll do it. But it's in their benefit. It's in their benefit. You gotta write down, okay, I'm the expert here. This is what I do. Let's start with, let's say you got general conditions, you got, mobilization, you have a safety plan, you have, certain things, submittals that you have to do. You have all of these items. Okay, now I gotta run conduit on the first floor. I gotta run the wire on the first floor. I gotta install the boxes. I gotta do this. You have to put every single thing down, and it might seem ridiculous, but it's not, because when you put it to get paid, they're gonna see if you did those items and pay you. And then you'll get your money, and that's your consistent flow. But if you put a bulk item that says, okay, the job is 500,000, but for the first floor, I'm gonna just say it's gonna cost like 100 and something thousand. And what they're gonna do is they'll say, oh, yeah, okay. They're gonna go send this back to, no, that's not done. That's not done either. That's not done. And then they're gonna tell you what you're gonna get paid. And you're gonna be like, wait a minute, I'm gonna give you $30,000. You should be paying me 100 or something. And they're gonna be like, well, you can't prove every single thing because you didn't put it down in those tasks. You didn't write it down in the schedule of values because you counted on them to do it. Can't do that. You have to break it down, and then you'll be able to get your money. Your cash flow is important. All right. Any questions about that?
What you do or what you have to do?
What you do is the scope of work. They give you the scope of work, but they just give you in general terms what the scope of work is. But you know that it's not just wiring on a panel. It's a lot more. There's risers, there's this, there's that. There's a lot more involved. So you want to break up so that you can say, okay, I installed the back box. I got the delivery. No one puts the delivery.
I would call WD's work break object.
You gotta put it down, because what happens when the delivery man delivers your materials? He's gonna want his money. You're gonna be like, delivered, here's an invoice. And you're gonna be like, where do I get the money to do this? It should have been in your schedule of values that said delivery for these items. They're here, here's the bill, pay me so I can pay them, because I want to have a good relationship with my vendors. Okay? All right? Any questions?
First time I hear down payment in private.
Yeah.
First time I hear.
First time?
Don't bring it back.
Listen,
Tell me.
you need to get a deposit. Everybody gets a deposit from a private job. You don't start a job unless they pony up the money.
I've always received it now. So how do I work with that?
Then don't do the job. Say, you know what, I'm
I
sorry.
need to hear this too, because
You do the same thing?
I got the contracts coming in
Private?
private.
You'll ask for deposit. No one told you. No one told you. You would say, ask for
During our
deposit.
session, we
They have to
talked
buy
about,
materials.
depending on, it's called utilization.
Repeater.
It's called retainers. There's a number of different ways. There's a number of different.
I got it ways in this conversation then.
But you can't ask it. It doesn't mean that you're going to get it, but it's a way to give you a jump start for your project.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, you ask someone, they might just say, mate, they look at you like you're up to this, but you can still ask the question.
The thing you're gonna tell the customer is, I need money to buy the materials. You want me to spend my money to buy the materials for your house? And I'm like, so I know that if I just had cameras installed, right? I was like, all right, you want a deposit? Sure, there's deposit. But you're not gonna get the whole thing until it's working and I see what it's doing as a homeowner. Right? When I do a job and somebody wants me to do an implementation of a back office, I'm like, you gotta pay me the deposit. If you don't, then I can't do the job.
Rachel, what have you seen?
Government is different. They don't give you a deposit. No. The government doesn't give you a deposit. What they do is they give it to you after you mobilize, and then they'll give you the organization money.
Well, you're gonna start spending loan reporter.
Yeah, which is why you need a loan. When you work for the government and you work, let's say you win a $500,000 job, you have to do all the submittals and all the paperwork, the schedule of values and all of that. You have to spend money, send it to them. And then when you have boots on the ground, then your first requisition will include mobilization and you'll get your money there.
Rich, I think you had a comment or statement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just confused because from a practical standpoint, as a GC, when we have our stores coming to us,
Can you speak up a little bit, Richard, please?
and
I'm just sorry.
from a practical standpoint as a GC, when it comes to deposits, they're already 50%. It's not.
I'm just using that as an example.
50% is any deposits, so right fly it to a GC. So most of our subcontractors that's coming to us, they have a job in place already. They're pre-qualified. The most we will do we don't do deposits at all. We do mobilization. So
Is this a pilot job?
these are private jobs. We don't do public. So typically it's between 5 to 10%. That's industry standards.
No, but I've seen different. And I work with plenty of contractors every day.
I only do 5% of that. Nobody does that.
Then maybe you're shorting yourself.
No, we're not sure of that. We don't.
Does your subcontractors ask you for money?
Our subs don't ask the money because
No?
subs are financially set. They're pre-qualified. And we don't really give deposits out because most guys, when you give them deposits, they put ruler someplace.
Yeah.
That's possible, but that's possible.
That's all contractual terms.
I get
So
you.
we're a little bit different.
I get you on your situation, but the other contractors that I work for and what I've seen is different. Okay. I don't see a lot of subcontractors working anymore for free. I see them getting some sort of deposit because they do have to get materials and they don't have the money to put out for the materials. So they ask the GC for the money.
So you're asking here,
Yes.
practical standpoint.
Yes. Yes.
So you're my subcontractor, my
Yes.
subcontractor. Would be practical.
Yes. I'm being practical.
If I said, REGs, I had $12 million contract. You have $1 million in electrical work. Typically, you're fully vetted with your financials. I'm not fronting you a dollar. Not a dollar.
Okay.
You are going to get the job and you're supposed to have the financial capacity to front that job for at least 2 months.
I will not accept the job.
Then you will not work.
I will work for someone else that can give me the money because I'm going to have to take out the loan and pay the interest. And I don't know you as a GC. Just say.
Tamika, let Tamika. Guys, 1 second. We're gonna do Tamika, and then do Tamika. What's her name?
Stacy.
I know Stacy. What's her name? Anna. Okay. Let's do it.
Say, you'll stand up and we could really hear what you're saying, please. But I'm there. Well,
I heard those folks.
It's a practical standpoint. I mean, listen, that's just the business. I mean,
I want to hear from the subs.
Okay.
so
I want to hear from the subs.
who's the son?
I said Tamika.
So who's the son?
I'm a son.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna let you.
thank you.
So I'll come into your office. We'll.
He's got the mic.
Shut the mic.
So I was just saying, like, to your point, like there are hybrid models, right, of contracting, and I don't think that you said you wouldn't work, you know, if you had to upfront 2 months, but if as you said about like government contracts, you're going to upfront maybe 60 to 90 days. So by the project, you just wouldn't work for the government. So and even some of us, like as a developer, I have a hybrid because I used to work in government procurement and prior. So I do task orders. So you can't come to me like, okay, well, this would be $1 million, but I separate everything. So the kitchen's going to cost this much. So I'm going to give you a task order for the kitchen. That task order is going to have an SOP. When you're done, we're going to take those punch lists. Then you get that money for a task order, or I could elbow that task order. But let's say, like, what you do the whole house, I'm not going to give you 50%. We're going to go room by room. And that's how my contracts. So I
That's some money, right? Somebody. Assistant to the school board secretary.
Okay. I just want to say I am happy to be here because I'm here to learn. So I want to learn that there's an elephant, you might be holding the leg. She might be holding the trunk. He's holding the tail. I want to hear about each of those scenarios. None of you have the only thing that's happening, but I want to learn them all.
Yeah.
So let's respect each other and give us the details, because I want to know which projects you on, because I want the 50%. Okay? So that's all I'm saying.
Let's hear from Hannah.
I think his best answer here is your relationship and communication pattern from sub to GC. Yep, and that's what it is. Because I would come to you, sit in your office, hey, how does your back office work? This is how mine works. This is what we need. We need to build on a 30-day. This is how we rack out. This is my schedule of hours. Can we compare it to yours? How do we fit in, and can we be in on the first rack?
So let me ask you the question.
Well said, by the way. Well, that's a good structure of the argument.
All right, so that was both sides. But here's a practical standpoint. For every subcontractor that will come into us, and we qualify that we have relationships with, and you're right about that. And we have subcontractors that we have worked with over these years, and their financials are not strong. And we work with them. So scheduler values is probably incorporated into our contracts. And I'm starting out with you, you're a small subcontractor, I'm going to help you. So if you have a small deposit to get going, and you're trustworthy to establish a relationship, of course I'm going to do it. But I'm not giving you 50 free.
That's an extreme example, but so very quickly, very good. Rich worked on a project that I've been involved in for the past 4 years. One Brooklyn Health, and it's a major healthcare system, right? And one of the things the program manager did by getting approval from the states, the $664 million non-job, right? Of course. To date, we've spent about close to 90-something million with MWBEs, and some of you will get a chance to potentially bid on that. But one of the things they did very early on to meet the contractor, the smaller contractor's needs, was a contract deposit, right? So it is something that happens in the industry, but you have to, it's based on relationship, you have to be trustworthy, and they have to know that you're going to finish the job and not end up in Bermuda somewhere.
Right, and look at your financial.
1 minute. This is real life experience. I did a job for Gramercy in 2014. Only a job, scaffolding in Hawaii, Honolulu. Obviously, the contractor has a very good relationship with me. Back in New York in 2018, I got a DEP demolition of water towers in Queens. All the big water towers by Van Wyck, you see, the big QA. I work with them doing demolition, my scaffolding. As an NWA contractor, I didn't have the finances to maintain my insurance. I have a $500,000 insurance policy, which is about $40,000 a month. Every single dollar that I have, almost $150,000 at the time. Right? Cash and pocket, I put it to the job. When you're dealing PLA, or you nuts about 5 guys, $20,000 a week. $100,000 is not much money when you're running PLA or unit jobs. So you know when we're talking about this money. What happened? Buy, BOC. What's his name? They said, take the job. $750,000. So I got it. We're going to lend you the money. Contra financing. I do all the paperwork. A month's going back and forth. You're going to get it. So I put my own money up front to do the job. I had 2 weeks into the job, $50,000 down payment for insurance, payroll on my neck, and they said, we are not going to help you to lend you the money.
They're not what?
They're not giving me the money. BOC back.
Right.
So, back. You have to be tender, dude. Because it hurts me. I had to take my tools back on my hot closet and go back and work again. To catch up my money again, to go back in the game. I was up to here, almost lost all my business. I cried for therapy. So, when it comes to down payment, mobilization, read your contracts, don't believe all the false things they say, take the job, you're going to do it, we're going to back you up. Make sure your finances are correct. Make sure you get around with it. And if the contractor is not willing to work with you, don't take it. All things that look shiny, they promise us, we're gonna help you. Be very careful with that because they put it very shiny up there. We're gonna help you, we're gonna lend you the money, we're gonna back you up, and we're gonna start to perform. I had the best labor course in New York City for scaffolding. 14 years, 0 accident. I have my snoopers, my crazy 800, everything by the book. And in the last day, they said, we're not going to give you my money. They bankrupt me almost. I put my tools back, went back to work, and catch up again to rebuild. So be very careful out there. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So everybody's very good. So thank you guys.
Here we have the meeting soon, so we have to finish the presentation. I got all of the people that already talked about it. There's some productivity tools. Automate your business process. If you use treated emails like MailChimp, Classic Onsite, Send Pulse, what would you use this for? To tell people that you have something else that you're offering besides, okay, I'm doing this one, I'm doing one service. I just opened up the door for another service. Let everybody know it. And then you can see through MailChimp who's interested, right? Appointments. I use Calendly. You want to make an appointment with me, or you want to make an appointment for me to go to your house, or we'll just say an example, right? To go and take a look, make appointment. It connects to my Google Calendar. Calendly. And it'll automatically create a Zoom link if you want to connect it to Zoom link, or if you want to connect it to Asana, it'll automatically create an appointment in your Google and the task in Asana for your technician to go to that job. Or Slack and say, hey, we got an appointment for you to go look at someone's house or looking at a job. And it'll do that automatically for you, doing it this way. Social media management, you have Hootsuite, where you create your own social media and then we schedule it. But if you don't got time for that, you can use SmartComms. I use it because I have no time for drawing and doing all that, and I don't have a marketing manager. So I use them, and it's like $99 a month. And they send out all of my social medias, let everybody know what I'm doing, because everybody's looking at that now. Templates to create organizational chart, Lucid and Pinkwater Good. And here, First Exported 2, they have so many templates that you could use. Change orders, RFIs, Scanjuli, and more. Okay? You want to train your staff using the on-screen video tools? Snagit. That's how it's spelled. Snagit. Loom can do it too, and VMO can do it. VMO is good to host the videos. So if you want to create a commercial and you want to put it on your website, you can use VMO to host it and then post it on your website. That's pretty cool. Snagit, that's where you're going to show your employees how to do stuff. Okay, this is how you do this. This is how you create a proposal. This is how you do this, and this is how you do that. That's where you're using Snagit. This is where you're going to find the files. This is how you're going to create your email template where you're showing your business phone number and your email and such with your signature. That's where you're going to find it. That's how you're going to create it. ChatGPT, love it. I love this thing. It's great. It creates content like emails, proposals, marketing, brainstorming, and it does so much more that you can just imagine, right? You got the Canva Magic Studio. It'll create graphics for you. And then you have Zapier. Zapier is great because it creates workflows and automates stuff for you, which is awesome, right? You just have to play with it a little bit, and they have videos and tutorials and stuff, but that's the way to go for the future. Over here, collaboration tools, Slack. That's the bridge between the office and the field. All right. It's an internal communication tool. Grasshopper is a virtual home system for small businesses. You can also use Google Chat. Someone told me Google Chat was good. All right. I haven't tried it, but I've used Ring Central and I've used Grasshopper. Ring Central is if you have an international crew. All right. And Grasshopper is more for internal. Okay. We have project management, Asana, Monday, ClickUp, money management tools. You have Coursera, QuickBooks, Gusto. JotForm will allow you to create a form to gather information from your website visitors. And you can have them fill it out, and then we fill out the information. You can do surveys, And that will give you 5 free. You could create 5 free forms, like a proposal, for example. You create your proposal, you tell you're talking to people and your technicians in the field, and then they have it on their iPad, and then there's some kind, let me get your name, and then boom, it gets it gets into the job form. You've created a proposal. And it's that simple. We're making things easier. So now your guy in the field doesn't have to scribble all this stuff in a paper file and give it to the secretary and say, hey, fill that out. And she's like, I can't understand your handwriting. You're like, so this will solve that problem. Cognito Forms is also good. It's an online form builder for data collection, but Airtable, which I forgot to put here, is like a database. You can manipulate the data and say, well, how many people like this? How many people like that? So you can know where you're going to market that special item that you're selling.
And you said that was
Airtable. Airtable, which connects to Cognito and it connects to JotForm. They also have forms there, type forms as well. And here's some password management where you can create one password and then enter in here, and then you have the rest of your passwords. So you don't have your passwords all like in your phone on the notes or stuff like that, or LastPass. So this is productivity tools. We're going to give you this here, and you'll be able to explore these technologies here. Here's a special thing for you. If you don't know how your back office is, do your own self-assessment here. Right? If you click on here, go ahead and answer the questions on the form. And when you answer the questions, it'll give you a score. And you'll know in that score how well your back office is. Okay? And if you find that you're weak in it and you need some help, you can always give me a call. Or, you can you can give me a call. I'm just saying something like you can so give yourself a solace. It'll give you at least an idea, right? If you need a little help with how to put your business assessment together, you can. I will help you out, no problem. So everybody got this?
No.
Yes? All right, and then the next one is how to contact you. Thank you for attending. I really appreciate your time. That is my name. I am the CEO or president of Leading Factor. And if you want a back office assessment, business assessment, you can just go ahead and click on scan this. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can scan that. So, and
let's give Jack a round of applause.